Hello everyone, welcome to the Creator Driven Community. I'm Mark Builds It, and we are going to get started covering some background before we get too far into the weeds on the details of Web3 and what it can do for the creator economy. You probably heard me mention in the first video the term Web3, and that implies that if there's such a thing as Web3, then there has to be a Web 1 and a Web 2. So today we're going to talk about what is Web 1. So Web 1 goes all the way back to the origins, the commercial origins of the internet. We're talking early to mid 90s all the way through into the early 2000s. And during that period of time, the internet was basically read-only. We were taking all of this printed content that was mostly on paper, and we were moving it onto the internet. So you could think of the web at that point in time as sort of a digital magazine. And that meant that the way people used it for businesses was advertising. It was following all the traditional paths of media through time. Radio was created by insurance companies so that they could sell insurance. They just needed something to put in between the commercials, so they put country music on the radio. It was no different for the internet. So if you were putting content on the internet back then, on Web 1, the only way you could really make a living doing it was to sell space on your website to advertisers like Yahoo, to attract, so that when you attracted attention to your site, they could pay you to put people in front of their ads. Or you were just a business who was putting their content online to convince people to come into their store and buy a purchase, because transactions were really difficult in the beginning. Credit card companies weren't sure how they were going to handle the trust of a transaction between two parties that weren't actually face to face. So from that came people like PayPal. And so it was really just one giant commercial. I'm going to give you a resource today. This was the place that I found early on in my diving into Web3, and it's a project that I've actually gotten pretty active in. It's sort of like a community good or a utility now. They provide all kinds of free education on the basics of Web3 and blockchain, and it's called Odyssey DAO. We're going to cover a lot of the things that Odyssey covers on their website. The intro to Web3, NFTs, probably not a lot of DeFi. I'm not a financials guy. The financials that I worry about are the ones that are, the bottom line for my business. So I don't do a ton of investing in cryptocurrencies. I highly suggest signing up for their newsletters. They've got a lot of great information there. If you click on this Learn tab here, you've got quite a few things to choose from. You probably want to start here at the Intro to Web3. If you go there, what we covered today was something they covered really in just 2 sentences. So I look at these things from a creator lens and not just from the overall basics lens. So if you're wanting to go and get more of a broad look at what all these terms are and what they mean, I highly suggest Odyssey DAO. Tomorrow we'll cover Web 2, and I'll see you then.